Hello, hello, new book fans, and welcome to another installment of Amanda Gets Excited About Books. Yay! As you can tell, we got another new box of books in here at the library, and I am so excited to share these books with all of you. It always feels like Christmas when we get new books in. I can't wait to show you everything that's in this box. I hope you're as excited as I am. Before we get started, I will remind everyone again that all of these books are in our catalog right now. So if you see something that you know you want to read, that you definitely want to check out, please sign into the catalog and place a hold on it right now, so as soon as it's ready to go, we can get it ready for you. If you're not sure how to do that, there is information on our website about how to request items in our catalog, or you can always reach out to us on Facebook, by phone, or through email, and we are happy to help you out with that. So let's get started. I know in the past I've gone through some of the titles fairly quickly, trying to keep these videos from getting too long. I have heard from some of you that you would like to know a little bit more about each book besides just seeing the cover and seeing the title and the author. So I will talk a little bit more about each of the books in this box. The video might get a little bit longer, but I hope that all of you will enjoy hearing a little bit more about each title and having a better idea of whether it's something that you want to place a hold on or not. So let's dive in and see what we've got in this box. Our first title is definitely one that you will want to take a look at. This is I Was Told It Would Get Easier by Abby Waxman. And if that name rings a bell, it's because this is the author of The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, which received a lot of positive reviews. I really enjoyed it. I thought the writing was great. So I'm looking forward to reading another book by this author. This one is about a mother and a daughter who are watching their carefully mapped out college tour devolve into something they never expected in this hilarious and insightful new novel. For the daughter Emily, it's a last-ditch effort to get excited about her future because every day in the present feels like such a slog. For Jessica, the mother, it's a chance to bond with the daughter she seems to have lost. They used to be so close, but now it's just not the same, and the two of them, along with a bunch of strangers, are traveling the East Coast, visiting prospective colleges, and encountering a number of surprises and secret tests to their relationship along the way. Next, we have a title that I know people will be excited for. This is the third book in the Stormrunner series by J.C. Cervantes. This series is part of the Rick Riordan Presents imprint. You've heard me talk about this in a couple of the other videos as well, where there's a number of titles coming out in this imprint. These are books that are similar to Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson or Magnus Chase or Heroes of Olympus series, but they focus on different mythologies, and they are by authors who come from the cultures of those mythologies. This one focuses on Maya and Aztec mythology, and this is the third book in that series. If you haven't picked any of this series up yet, this is one that has been getting many great reviews. So check out books 1 and 2, and then book number 3. Next up, we have a middle grade novel called Tune It Out by Jamie Sumner. And this is about a young girl who has the voice of an angel, or so her mother will tell her and everyone else. And she and her mother have been performing country fairs and on streets. But Lou, our main character, has never really liked the crowds, the loud noises. It kind of terrifies her. And so she's not a big fan of doing this. And then after a snowy accident, she and her mother are separated by Child Protective Services, and Lou is forced to start over again at a fancy new school, away from everything that she's known or been used to. And with the help of a new friend, her aunt and uncle, and a school counselor, she starts to see things differently and might find that music is going to be the thing that saves her, and perhaps her mother as well. Next up, we have a title that you'll definitely want to take a look at. This is the newest book on the list for Reese's Book Club. Those are always good selections and one's worth a look. This is Everything Inside by Edwidge Danticat, and this is a collection of short stories set around the Caribbean, going all the way to Miami, Haiti, and beyond. And this is 8 stories that explores with quiet power and elegance the forces that pull us together and drive us apart. So definitely one you will want to take a look at. Next, we jump to a nonfiction title with The Socrates Express by Eric Weiner. And this book, the author combines his twin passions for philosophy and global travel in a pilgrimage that uncovers surprising life lessons from great thinkers around the world. So this sounds like it would be quite an interesting read as he explores the ways that ancient philosophers' ideas and ways of thinking might still apply to our lives today. Next up, we have one that I am definitely looking forward to reading. This is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a young adult mystery. The premise makes me think a little bit of The Westing Game with maybe a little bit of 39 clues thrown in. Our main character, Avery, has a plan for a better future, survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But then she is surprisingly left almost an entire fortune by billionaire Tobias Hawthorne. The only catch is that she has to stay in his sprawling mansion full of secret passageways, riddles, and codes. And unfortunately for her, the house is also occupied by Tobias's family, who have just been disinherited. This includes Tobias's 4 grandsons, who definitely thought that they were going to inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson Hawthorne is convinced that Avery must be a con woman and plans to take her down. But it turns out that there's one last hurrah from this dead billionaire, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved, and Avery will have to play the game to survive and to inherit this money. Now we've got a title that I know people will be excited to see. We've got a new Dogman book by Dave Pilkey. This is awesome. This is Dogman Grime and Punishment. So if you or anyone in your life is a fan of the clever and snarky humor that you get in a Dave Pilkey book, you will definitely want to put your name on this one. Do not miss the newest Dogman book. Our next one is Mr. Malcolm's List by Suzanne Elaine. This one caught my eye because of the Pride and Prejudice reference on the back. That definitely ticks a box for me. I love Pride and Prejudice and any adaptations or things that play with the premise of Pride and Prejudice. So this one, according to our sentence on the back, is, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that an arrogant bachelor insistent on a wife who meets the strictest of requirements deserves his comeuppance." And in this particular book, Mr. Jeremy Malcolm is searching for a wife, but not just any wife. He has a list. He needs the perfect woman. She has to check every single thing off on this list. And of course, he encounters a woman who does not even begin to check off everything on his list, but sparks fly. This sounds amazing. I definitely want to read this one. You'll want to put your name on this if you are looking for a fun, Pride and Prejudice-esque historical romance. I am so excited about this book. This is a graphic novel geared towards younger and beginning readers. So if you've got young readers in your life that are interested in exploring the graphic novel format, this is a great starting place. This is PBJ Stuck Together by Brian Smith. This is the start of a series. This is book 1. We are getting book 2 as well. So if this one goes well, you can jump on and grab the next installment. As you can probably tell from the cover, P is a P, B is a B, and J is a blue jay. And these 3 are going to encounter each other and develop a bit of a friendship. And if they can stick together, they can hopefully help P find his way back home. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this book. Our newest Babysitter's Club graphic novel book is here. Yes, it is here. This is the 8th installment in the graphic novel adaptations of the Babysitter's Club, Logan Likes Marianne. This is still done by Gail Galligan, although I think this may be her last one, if I remember correctly. This is an amazing time to be a Babysitter's Club fan. If you loved the books back in the day and you're getting back into them, or if you've never read them and you're discovering them now, between these amazing adaptations and the Netflix show, everybody wants to be in the Babysitter's Club right now. I cannot wait to sit down and read this. I tear through these every time a new one comes out, but they're so well done. You will want to request this one. I'm just so excited about it. And now we jump to something very different, but something that I know many of you get very excited about, true crime. This is a new collection of true crime stories, tales by journalists and chroniclers of crime in recent years. This is Unspeakable Acts, True Tales of Crime, Murder, Deceit, and Obsession by Sarah Weinman. So if you're looking for a taste of some new and recent true crime, you will want to check this book out. Next up, we have another book that I have been wanting to read since I heard about it. It sounds awesome. This is called Final Cut by S.J. Watson, and this is about a documentary filmmaker who goes to a small town that used to be a big tourist attraction, but now the tourism and the economy is dwindling, and the town has become a bit of a ghost town, so it seems like a perfect place to shoot this documentary. But the community is very suspicious of this filmmaker's intentions, and as she shoots her documentary, she begins to discover a little bit about some secrets and some past in this town that everyone would like to see remain buried. This book looks amazing. This is Witches of Brooklyn by Sophie Escabase. And this book, the premise reminds me a bit of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. This is a middle grade graphic novel about a young girl named Effie who is going to stay with her aunts in Brooklyn. And her aunts are weird. Really weird. Like, they might be magical witches weird. And Effie begins to wonder, does this mean she's magic? Could she be a witch? The character designs in this book are awesome. You can see from the back, her and her two aunts. It looks wonderful. I'm looking forward to reading through this. This art style and these characters just look great. This is Witches of Brooklyn. Next up, we have An Appalachian Summer by Anne H. Gabhart, and this is an adult fiction historical book set in 1933 Louisville, Kentucky. Despite the ongoing economic depression, Piper Danson's parents are insisting on a debut party. After all, their fortune came through the stock market crash intact, and they've picked out the perfect suitor for their daughter. The only problem is that this is not the life that she wants at all. So when Piper has the opportunity to volunteer as a horseback frontier nursing courier in the Appalachian Mountains for the summer, she jumps at the chance to explore something else and to do something other than be a dutiful daughter or a wife in a loveless marriage. The work is taxing. The people she meets kind of open her eyes to the rest of the world and other things that are going on. And the longer she stays, the further away from her old life she gets. And she's forced with a decision whether to stay in this new life or go back to the life she doesn't want. Got a few picture books in this box as well. This one is Your Place in the Universe. This is by Jason Chin. This book looks incredible. This takes a very complicated subject matter, size, scale, and unimaginable distance, and breaks it down in a beautiful way for children to explore and understand everything from the most microscopic to the most astronomically large in these unbelievably gorgeous illustrations. This is a book you will want to share with all of the young ones in your life. Our next picture book is Wild Symphony by Dan Brown. Yes, that Dan Brown, author of books such as The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, has written this picture book where you travel through the trees and across the seas with Maestro Mouse and his musical friends. You'll meet a number of incredible animals with secrets to share, and along the way, you might even encounter some coded messages to solve. This is Wild Symphony. Another picture book to absolutely share with everyone because this looks amazing. This is Bling Bling, Throw Glitter Not Shade. This is by Rob Sanders. And in this story, Blaine loves to shine. He loves to sparkle. He loves all about everything to do with bling. And he finds that his bling rubs some people the wrong way. And he and his friends will have to work together to convince everyone to throw glitter, not shade. Oh my goodness, this is another book that I cannot wait to read. I know this is going to be an incredibly powerful book, probably a difficult read, but one that I am looking forward to. This is Punching the Air. This is by Ibi Zoboi and Youssef Salam, and this is a young adult title told in verse about a young man who has always been an artist and a poet, but even in his diverse art school, because of the bias system, he's seen as disruptive and unmotivated. And then one night, an altercation with some other boys in the neighborhood escalates into tragedy, and he learns that the idea that boys will be boys only applies if the boys are white. Suddenly, at just 16, Amal is convicted of a crime he didn't commit and is sent to prison. Despair and rage almost sink him until he turns to the refuge of his words and his art. This never should have been his story, but can he change it? This should be on everyone's reading list. I am looking forward to reading this. I haven't even read it yet, and I already highly recommend it. And last but not least, we get a little lighthearted again with a young adult book by Shannon Hale, who is always worth a look. This is Kind of a Big Deal, and this is about Josie Pye, who dropped out of high school to be a theater star, and then her life kind of fell apart. And so her escape is getting into reading. Literally, she reads a book and suddenly she's inside it. And with each story, she's a different character, a post-apocalyptic heroine, the lead in a YA rom-com, and a 17th century wench in a corset. It's alarming, but also kind of amazing. Why is Josie going into books? What is she going to learn from going into these books? You will have to read this and find out. Thank you so much for sticking with me and for going through this box of books with me. I really hope that you saw some titles that you are as excited about as I am. Please, anything that you're interested in, sign into the catalog, place a hold on those now so that we know that you want them. I hope you enjoyed getting to hear a little bit about each book as well as seeing the titles. And I hope you join us next time for our next unboxing when we get more books in. Thank you so much. See you next time.